Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to do another review from Osaka Kuni no Cho beer, who you saw me visit a few videos ago, and today we're having a taste of their Kura Amber Ale, which is a 5% amber ale, as you may have guessed. You can see on this one with the label art the trademark frog. That wasn't on the Dojima beer that I reviewed for you a few videos back. But this one should be quite interesting. There was no overall rating for it on Rate Beer, but the reviews that I read of it said that the malty character in this one was quite interesting. So we'll see how we get on with this one. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews from Osaka Kuni no Cho beer. I've done the Dojima beer so far, but I probably will do more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. Make sure you check that out. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. If you want to see specifically Japanese beer reviews, go into the channel homepage and search Japan. And of course you can check out Casey and Eric's channel, Sotogami Akihabira, two nice American guys in Tokyo who do reviews on Japanese beers, and you'll see me do a collaboration with them sometime fairly soon. But anyway, to tell you a little bit about Osaka Kuni no Cho beer. So Osaka Kuni no Cho beer is part of the Kotobuki Shuzo company, a sake company as many Japanese craft breweries are part of, and this is based in Takatsuki, Osaka Prefecture, which is about halfway between Osaka and Kyoto. The company was founded in 1822, which is actually the late Edo period in Japan, and the current president is Kenji Hashimoto, who is the 7th generation of his family to run the brewery. Apparently the Hashimoto family have a long history of producing rice and brewing sake, which goes back well over 500 years, so a very, very well established Japanese company. But the brewery also continued to produce sake during the Second World War, which actually wasn't so common. Many of the cities in Japan, of course, burnt to the ground with the incendiary bombing during the Second World War, mainly because the buildings were made of wood. But it's quite impressive that these guys managed to continue production during wartime. But they also began producing beer back in 1995. This, of course, is when the tax laws in Japan changed that allowed smaller breweries to pop up. I think it was 2 million litres a year you had to produce to actually be allowed to brew alcoholic beer. You could brew non-alcoholic beer, but not alcoholic beer at that time. And since 2005, they've also been producing shochu as well. So that's a little bit about the company. Just to read the other beers out for you, they've got the Kura the Kura Amber, the Dry Stout, and they also have two beers that are called the Takashi Brewing Ale, and they have the gold version and the brown one of that. They also have the Osaka Dojima beer, which you saw me review just a little while ago. They've got quite a few different beers. As I say, check out the brewery website in the description below and you can have a look at those. I would advise using Google Chrome for that, because it is a Japanese website and Google Chrome can translate it for you automatically. But yeah, that's enough about the brewery just now. We'll get on to the tasting of this beer. So as I mentioned to you, this one is a 5% amber ale. There wasn't too much information available on it when I checked it out on the website. It just talked about it being an amber ale and having a nice malty taste and all of this sort of thing. But there you can see, I mentioned in the last video that the Dojima beer didn't have a label that was similar to the other ones, but here you can see they have the trademark frog that they normally put on their beers here. But looks quite nice. You can see on the top of the bottle there's a nice kind of I think it's a hop flower and a malt grain as well. So very nicely presented, and we'll get this guy out and get on with the tasting then. It should be quite interesting. There we are. Nice bit of smoky opening on this one as we get it out, and we'll get it out and into the glass. Pouring kind of as you would expect, a nice dark coppery amber colour from this one. Yeah. So yeah, there you are. The Kura Amber from Osaka Kuni no Cho. There you can see a nice kind of coppery amber colour there. There is a bit of transparency to it. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but overall it is quite hazy. There's a solid finger of a frothy, slightly beige coloured head on this one, a kind of creamy beige colour I would say. A few big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. You can smell a little bit of the caramel malt on this one as you pour it out, but we'll have a closer look at the aroma now. Yeah, so as you take a closer look at the aroma, you'll see that caramel malt becoming very, very rich actually. It's quite a biscuity, almost almost corn syrupy note that's coming out of this one. You can smell a bit of the bready malt base as well. But yeah, it smells very grainy and very sort of corny syrup sort of thing coming out of this one. So we'll sugar it up a bit and see what else we can get. Yeah, there's a good bit of hoppy character coming out of this one, a little bit earthy I would say. Also some kind of floral and grainy characters. Yeah, it smells like an English beer, this one actually. It smells like one of these kind of English bitters, to be honest with you. So maybe it's based on the English amber ale style rather than the American one. But it has that typical kind of cereally, grainy malt base with some of the corn syrup in there. You can smell a little bit of red fruit maybe as well, just a little bit of a red fruity ester. But to me, the aroma that comes out of this, it's quite caramelly, kind of corn syrupy and sort of a grainy, biscuity, bready thing. It really does remind me quite a bit, like I say, of some of these ESBs that you get from England. But yeah, so kind of what you'd expect a little bit from an English amber ale, I would say. So let's get stuck into this beer then. This is the Kura Amber from Osaka no Cho beer, part of one of the sake companies here in Takasuki in Osaka Prefecture, Japan. Kanpai. Yeah, I would stick with that analysis. On the basis of the taste, it's like an English amber ale. No doubt about that in my mind. Yeah, I mean, it has, like I was saying, it smells like an English amber ale, and to be honest, it tastes like an English amber ale as well. In the middle of your palate, you get that bready character that just blankets the middle of the tongue. On top of that, you're getting the kind of cereally, kind of grainy elements in there. And in the middle, there's a good sweet caramel, some sort of, how would you say, a kind of corny syrup thing going on in this one. But it has that kind of dry, biscuity, corny, cereally character that you get from these English bitters and English amber ales. Some of the brown ales in England have that as well. Yeah, I mean, if you like these kind of English style beers, then you will enjoy this one. It's nothing like an American amber ale, which is a lot more hoppy. The malt is a lot more kind of caramel focused than bread focused, but if you're into these English real ales, then you probably will enjoy this one. I have to admit, the English real ales aren't my kind of favourite styles of beers. When it comes to English beer, I like the porters, the stouts are quite good, and the milds as well. I'm not such a great fan of the English golden ales or the bitters and things like that, to be honest. But this one is actually alright. It's pretty drinkable. It's not too forceful on that kind of grainy character, but neither is it like one of the really well flavoured beers that you can find in Japan from like Tamamura Honten or Bear Beer or things like that. I mean, this is one of the kind of G beers, I would say definitely. It's not quite in the same league as the likes of Bear Beer, Kitachino, or things like that, you know, Tamamura Honten, Shigakogen. Fujizakura as well. But I mean, it's actually fairly decent in terms of the G beers. It's actually a pretty nicely flavoured one, but it's not going to blow your mind. It's not like such a full flavoured beer, but it's a nice, fairly kind of sessionable one, if that makes sense. It's probably fair to describe it as that. It really reminds me a lot of the English amber ales, like I said. So yeah, back corners of the palate, you get a little bit of earthy character from the hops. I do wonder if there's English hops in there. As you come further forward, it's a bit more floral. There's a bit of grassy character around the front curve of the tongue, and there's some nice kind of, a little bit of red fruity character just behind the front curve there. Some nice kind of light red fruity esters. I'd say that's a good way to describe this beer. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one that. It goes down quite well. It's nice, fairly light and quite sessionable. In terms of the mouthfeel, I'd say it's mid-bodied. It's actually got quite a wet mouthfeel. It's slightly oily. There's some nice, how do you say, there's a bit of nice grainy character to it. It's got a lot of sweetness in the malt base. The hoppy character is just a little bit dry, and there's a little tiny bit of fruity juiciness. Overall, like I said, it's not going to blow your mind in terms of the flavour that comes out of it, but it's a fairly nice kind of sessionable beer. I would recommend this one to people who enjoy the kind of English real ale styles of beer. It's, in that regard, it's pretty good, but like I said, if you're into the more American styles of beer, you probably want to stick to things like Fujizakura, Bear Beer, or Dyson G Beer, you know, Tamamura Honten, Shiga Kogen, all of these sorts of breweries. This one is a bit more mild in flavour than the other guys. But overall, for me, it's a fairly decent kind of sessionable beer. It's one of the kind of typical G beer styles that you're going to find in Japan. So yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do let me know your own thoughts on this beer and the brewery, of course, in the comment section below. Let me know your favourite beers from this brewery if you do have them. But thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Check out my social media and make sure you check out Casey and Eric at Sotogami Akihabara in Tokyo as well. Until the next time, slange just now, and I will see you soon. Hopefully we can return to Osaka Kuni no Cho beer and do a few more reviews in the very near future. Kanpai.